Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, and if this isn't welcome back, but welcome, hey, I hope I earn your subscription today. And everyone, I hope you can smash the like button. It really does help. Okay, well, we're going to continue here. We are, of course, playing Hearts of Iron Black Ice, Hearts of Iron 4's Black Ice, and we are getting ready to go to war with everybody. And that is sort of going to be the thing. Now, we need to get some of our air prepared. What do we have? Not enough. I know that. Okay, okay, well, we do have some fighters, some D and C and older B model 109, some Czech aircraft. Oh, we have a bunch of Emils, too, hanging out here. Okay, good. Little bit, well, okay, we got some. I've just sort of been letting these build and not been organizing them into anything. And we've been upgrading some of our bombers, naval. All right, well. Let's set up a fighter squadron there. Let's look, well, because we might be facing fairly early on some enemy air activity here in the west. So one thing I think I want to do here is let's grab one of our, they'll do replacements for others. Okay, so heavy fighters to go after bombers here in the west. I could have done Arizona's a bit different here, but that's all right. Let's go with another batch of meals here. And I wish it stayed right where. Okay, well, let's come down to here. I think they'll upgrade to better ones. All right. So, I know these aren't trained. Not going to be great, maybe. Okay, there we got some. I think those are meals up here to watch the northwest. Let's come over here. Well, we can't guard everything. Hey, John, good to have you here. Okay. Let's look up here. No, that's the weather. And this game in some way is so sophisticated, and I just wish, well, no, I should just play it slower, maybe. Okay, so we have a squadron of Emils. That's what the 109E. They got nicknamed by the Germans the Emil. So that's what I sort of call them. I was sort of the sort of standard advanced type fighters, you know, in 1940, basically. And we also have some Stukas, two different variations here, but yay. Up here. So we've got the north sort of covered there. Down here we have some bombers. But older ones, okay. Let's come down here. Because we do want to win the air war here as well. And no, I do not feel comfortable that I have enough of everything. I really wish it would just stay on. You will refill with the some other fighters. There we go. So, okay, well, we have some of those there. Okay, what do we got? Okay, so updated. What are, okay, these are casts. Okay, it's a mix of stuff. Well, we don't need them really up there in northern Germany. So let's get these guys down to here. How big is this airbase? Okay, that airbase is very big. So let's move these to here. Okay, a lot of medium bombers, older Dorniers. Okay. You can see their operating range. Oh, this already is way too many. Okay, so what? These are interceptors are considered? Okay. Arado interceptors. Don't know what they're going to intercept, but let's move them up to Berlin area. Help the overstacking. Don't know that we need. We've also a good bunch of 109s to the Berlin area. We will put those fighters there. Now, that's where we were. We have lots of, let's put them all to here. We have lots of airbase space there. Okay, now we're talking some good, well, okay stuff. The earlier E models of the Heinkels. I think this is going to become our main aerodrome. And close support. Okay, a bit older stuff here. Okay, that's going to be filled up. How are we doing? Okay, we've got, let's put you to there. And what Arno is saying, don't forget to send out your naval. Oh, yeah, and one thing I thank you for sort of reminding me too. I need to send out my submarines before we get going on all this stuff. Okay, hopefully this is interesting. Okay, I know, okay, yeah, we're going to put this and this and this and this. Click over here on avoid. I think that will be good. I think down here we're going to put a never. So this way we have no convoys coming through here at the start. I think we should also do this on avoid. So unless because you know that way they will attempt to go around. Now, one thing I had hoped to do is to get them into my faction beforehand. I think they will come in anyways, but I would put them in the faction quote unquote axis by this time historically. And how do I put this? Sort of jumping topic slightly. The national focus tree. And yes, I know things can change and people can use things in different ways, but it was sold to me as a combination of two things. One, a roadmap. Like if you know you want to get to, establish the Africa Corps, you need to come down this tree. If you want to get to whatever you've got to, you want to help develop Italian refineries, you've got to do this. So roadmap for players who don't know history, who don't want to play again and play over again the same thing. So just to learn it. So I understand that. And I also understood that it was meant to be make choices. So you can't like do everything. Okay. And I understand that too. I am not against that idea. But when I look around here, and like I haven't done this, and this could have been done back in 1938, and this was basically done historically. There seems to me to be a lot of, especially like some of these tactical air efforts here, a lot of things that were done historically that I can't do. And yeah, I know I overly focus here, but I'm only finally getting down here, and some of these things, could have been done back in 1938. Now this one has to be done at war. I mean, it could have been done at the beginning of 39, but only at war. So, and I fully get the idea of you want to focus on Heinkel or Doignier here for tactical air efforts, or you want to do Heinkel or Messerschmitt here. Who do you want to focus on as one or the other? Not that you can't build both sets of aircraft, but you only get to focus on that. So for me, knowing this and looking around here and here, I guess we can do both Plan Z and U-boat effort, as in they're not mutually exclusive. They did not, obviously. I mean, this was the plan to do, but they did not focus on this enough, I guess, really, to do this. But I don't know, surface raiders. So what I would do is I would add a few more, shall we say, conditions, like dates, or like you're at war, like they have, so that you can do more of these things, and get done through them without delaying things like getting to the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact. Because they've called it national focus. And there was things, can you do more than one national focus at a time, was asked way back, in the early, before the game was released, when they were talking about them. And no, well, this was the nation focusing on something, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, but the nation isn't focusing on Ribbentrop-Molotov. It's a few diplomats, okay? It's not the nation. So, establish the Gestapo. Why haven't I gotten this a long time ago? And things like that. So, a lot of these are, I just don't see them as national focus, but I do sort of see them as things to do. And you can't do all of them, maybe, but you shouldn't make most of them, where am I going to get time for 60 days, 60 days, 60 days, to do the Enigma things with everything that I'm doing. And Germany had great advantages because of that Enigma, but it was also a failure in that Germany was overly confident in the Enigma, so they knew that the Enigma wasn't why their submarines were being found, for instance, because they can't possibly break Enigma. Well, they didn't know that fairly early on the Brits got an Enigma, and they periodically did change the rotor settings or whatever. I don't know all the details of the stuff, but it wouldn't necessarily take the British, say, since they did have an Enigma, more than a few weeks or something to sort of catch up. And then they could go back and read all current messages and go back and read other messages to confirm what's going on. So it was both a blessing and a curse. Now, it could have been just a blessing in that if you knew not to trust everything to Enigma, to not to use other additional means of keeping things locked down. Flak defense focuses. Okay. Well, let's see. If what you're looking at is when you type that in over here. Okay. Now this is another thing. I got the flak zones. These are flak zones in these regions. So now the only one that I know that was really heavily done, again that I know. Please, everyone new and old here listen carefully what I have to say. I don't know everything about World War II. God, I don't know that anybody can, and I don't mean even minuscule things like every little letter written home. I mean just read all the books. I don't know that it's humanly possible to read all of the books written on World War II. So we're just talking published media. There is so much. Now you can read a hell of a lot of them. I know I have, but I don't know that you can read all of them. So that's just published media and a bunch of stuff, because I do have because I found one article and it was sent to me and whatever. So I keep periodically getting fed stuff in like Finnish on Organization Tote up in Finland, and I can sort of kind of use Google Translate to, because it's in PDF format. Just articles, and these are research papers. So there is so much out there I don't know. Now I know a shit ton about World War II, but there's so much more to know. The one area that I know that really did have a Luftflak zone built significantly before the war starts is here. So I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, maybe they have good reason, but why did the flak zones up in the north start first, and then here, and then here? But where this was really sort of considered part of, because this is Rhineland and Saarland, part of it's all in here, part of the West Wall formation here. So, and a bit down here too. Well, I would say this, maybe a bit down here. And so that was done. Now, maybe they also did other ones that I just haven't read about. Yeah, so much to know. But so I like all the stuff that they've done here, but they really because I haven't been able to take over these things, and these things would have been done damn quick. I mean, these were done damn quick and got organized in. So they really should be reduced down in numbers of days. Really should be. Especially if they're thinking, I don't know about fuel storage. That's something I want to do while I have access to trading for lots of fuel, and we've gotten full there. I would want to do this before the start of the war, but some of these synthetic refineries might be real, and coal liquefaction really might be historically something that happened later than now in February 1940, and that's fine. And maybe I have pushed on a few things, but I haven't been able to do the Volkswagen thing yet. So I'm just saying, and I don't think I've overly haven't even done Peenemünde yet, and it was done. So I mean, it's just all this stuff, and again, I know there's 11 people here and over on YouTube and Twitch, because that's the only where I get numbers reported on that thing, and 0 over on Kick and 7 over on Rumble. Hello, Rumble people. I have made a mod called Third Reich Events. I know those of many have been around here, for Black Ice for Hearts of Iron 3. So I've done a deep dive into all of these subjects, as deep as you can with reading, books, not going to archives. And, I don't read German or whatever, and I have not gone through the National Archives. So either ours or other nations. So no, I'm, but fairly deep dive in all this stuff. And so I know it fairly well. And now, okay. And see here's a good, idea here, but I don't know that 25 and 60 days. Well, maybe 6. Okay. Okay. Here is sort of the problem. We have, this is what I guess, if you will, now you don't have to do either one of these things, but this was sort of the opinion that Hitler and a fair amount of the German high command, so which Eastern Front initiative, once the invasion, was the AI aggressiveness, front behavior of the front. Okay, attack bonuses against the country, Soviet Union defense bonuses against the country. So I guess we get good bonuses for 90 days going into their kick in the door, and that's what was thought to be the war with the Soviet Union. Prepare for long winter war. Here, add stability, or which is a reduction. Add war support, which goes once we launch the invasion, the Soviets will receive Eastern French initiatives, organization when moving, winter attrition, aggressive front Soviet Union. Okay, attack bonuses against. Adds technology winter logistics, and grants logistics companies negative, which are there, and plus transports needed. So okay, now I don't know that 60 days is unreasonable for preparing for a long winter war. Against the Soviet Union, and this is for going, quick, going in hard and fast. 25 days. I'm not, but the problem is not so much the length here; it's the length combined with all this other crap going on. It's 60 days out of all of that. And we can even go out. Out of all of that, 60 days. Oh my God, that's 2 months. Now, it's not necessarily that 2 months are a bad prepare time. What it should be, and I know I'm talking like I know everything, and I don't. But okay, have an effect of reduction in like civil factories or military factories or both for a little while to represent, because logistic companies, 10 plus 10% transport units needed, and or something like that to simulate that. So I don't know. It just 35 days, 35 days, 35 days. Lion Kingdom of Hungary, 21 days. Bridge building here, okay. You can just see that all of these are just too many days that I'm just going to, establish the Africa Corps and go, oh, well, there's, quote unquote, choices to be made. Yeah, but you've given me too many choices that are historical, that meaning that happened historically and not were like mutually exclusive, like we could see about, again, Kriegsmarine, oh, yeah, here, Plan Z or U-boat effort, where are you going to focus? This was the basic sort of pre-war focus. This is why Raider had so few submarines, and this is what the focus becomes later on. They sort of switch paths, if you will. But yeah, some of these kind of things, develop new battleship designs, and going, down some of this might be a bit, you know, should be mutually exclusive and not do everything. Yeah, I know. Gamer has his stuff. Okay, so let's get back to planning our air. Okay, so close air support. Let's move you to here. Okay, flying boat, tactical bombers. Let's move you to here, get you somewhat closer to the theaters of operations. You're heading out there, you're heading there. Okay, you can stay right where you are and operate in Poland just fine. No. Let's come down to here. And let's put some old fighters down here. And we need to, let's come over to here. And this is what Arno and I are going to get back onto the Navy here in the submarines in a moment. We want to, do we not have more flying boats, or did I just scroll past them and not paying attention? Yes, I did just scroll past them and not pay attention. Bottom, we've got these guys. Forming those units to operate there. Well, these guys operate around there. And back to submarines. Okay. Okay, I do want to operate submarines at the start. So let's select here. I've never learned this interface well. Okay, these are all okay, what type 7s. Okay, these are all type 7s. So let's create a new theater, and we're going to sure this all made sense to somebody. Create a new task force. All submarines. And select. And we're going to move them to new theater. That way we're getting them out of command of whoever else here. Okay, what BF do you have? Okay, we currently are making, oh, are they way down here? The D model. So we have some C's, I believe, but we're currently making the D. Arna? Also deploy your surface fleet outside of Poland to engage and destroy. Yeah, we will see about that. But let's get back to here. Okay, so interorder. Okay, these are all just checking for the type. They're all type 7A. So well, let's go with 20. These are a lot more. See, now we got so many more of these than historically. All right, so we've got 20 in that task force. Let's come up here and select this, and let's create another task force. And let's go for another 20. Okay, so we've got these three. Hey, IKB, my friend, how you been? Oh, and hello over German Vandal. How you doing? Good to see you over on Kick. Don't have many people over there. Yeah, I read it as what you meant to say. And hello. Good to have you over there. I am trying to watch chat on everyone. So if you're new over on Kick, hopefully you follow over there as well. All right. So with these submarines, I could come out here and try to fight the British in a strategic, operations against um, everyone. Been busy with work and life in general. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Glad to hear that. I hope things are going well. The business is a good thing. So let's look here at no. What do we? How do we have 14? Oh no, we have one over here. Okay. Can we give? Okay, we've got. Um, let's give Otto here these. I don't know how useful it is for me to try to operate at this stage against the British in the Atlantic. Now, once I get ports here and not having to go up and around, maybe I don't know. I don't know, but I definitely want to. Okay, move these as another fleet. Now these are earlier stuff that the Germans continue to use as training subs, but we are going to set them up. Oh boy, this is going to use lots of fuel. Well, I'm going to wait a little bit. Okay, we got a few more days, and I don't think. Well, okay, I've been going back and forth as I'm here. All right. Let's put you out to the Iberian coast and um oh okay, hold it. What am I doing here? I don't know. No, we don't want to delete task force. Uh, I think I sent too many. Okay, who? This is when Gamer starts going. Which fleet is this that's going? Okay, yeah, I think, but okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I want to, um, stop you. Trash your orders. How do I cancel your orders? No, moving to the Iberian coast. Fuel, no. Okay, okay, well, are we, you're both, no, I don't want you both there. I want you to be here. Okay, and there we go. Again, convoy rating. And you, I want you to also be convoy rating. Oh, I want you to be convoy rating. Oh, come on. Let's right. Okay, look. There we go. This fleet convoy rating here. There we go. So they'll go out there and convoy raid. Hopefully avoiding the worst of what's going on. Okay, what's I could be saying? I wonder, can you get to the surface fleet into the Mediterranean before? Unfortunately, I've not been able to establish Italy as part of the Axis, so no. I can't do that. It would be... I wouldn't put the main surface fleet. I might put some surface vessels. What I would put would be some submarines into the Mediterranean if I practically could. So I cannot really do that, unfortunately. Now, okay, so we're going to grab this, of course, and we're going to create, okay, it's its own fleet here. These guys are going to, okay, we're going to convoy raid here. That way, any sort of trade or supplies going to Poland will be cut off. We're going to get some of these old coastal submarines, as they would sort of be called, here. Convoy raid. You're going to use fuel, though. I know. Okay, we'll wait on some more of these, but we'll get those guys out there. Measures several on passenger trains. Well, okay, we have a few Europeans here. Some real Europeans and some sort of kind of, I don't know if you want to call them fake Europeans, meaning British. I don't consider British really Europeans. I mean, yeah, they all have, yeah, I know. But somehow, and I know the Scottish and the Irish are a bit different than the English, but somehow I really do feel that the people of Britain are different than the people of the continent. Yeah, I mean, they're not as different as Chinese people or Russians, you know, than Central Europeans. But I would almost say the British are almost as different from the French and the Germans as the Russians are different from the French and the Germans. And again, I don't want to make this about race. This is just about national character. What do you guys feel about what's going on in France right now? What do you know? And type in chat, or if you're watching later, how do you look? What do you look at that and think? And I'm just getting imperfect. You know, look, when there's one burning building, even if it's a pretty big building, and all the camera is looking at that one building. Oh, how terrible! The city's burning down. And if you were to pan around all the rest of the 360 degrees, yeah, there may be people running around, but there's no fires and there's nothing being destroyed. So yes, we see some definite serious destruction happening, but it might be as a percentage of the town, less than 0.1%. I get that, but still, how do you Europeans and pseudo-Europeans view what's going on in France? And is this just going to be the new normal? You're just going to live in Mad Max world? I mean, is that what Europe is planning on doing? I mean, really? I don't know. I don't know if you guys feel like replying to it. Maybe you're afraid to because it's politically incorrect. I don't know. Not that the Americans can't say something, but obviously we are a bit removed from the situation. Now we've had our own viewpoint or similar sorts of things. Okay, let's get you heading up here as well. All right. Well, finally now I know after all this we are close. We're moving a clock, but we've been doing real work in getting things organized for the coming war. Okay, our trade routes are somewhat improved here. Okay, I'm also going to remove the here from avoid unless you've been told to go there. So that way, and we're going to also do this avoid unless you've been told here. So that will get longer shipping routes, but we'll get them away from being too close to that The French Revolution's consequences have been a disaster for humanity. Yes, absolutely. But I see there were riots. I don't know how many people, or how many, not people, how many buildings were burnt um, a few weeks or a few months ago. And then you look at the Yellow Vest movement that was, what, a couple of years ago. And yeah, there was a little bit of trashing of cars, and yeah, there's a little bit of what's going on. But I see the level of destruction and the level of violence different between those two. Hey, Sing. So, you're absolutely right about that, IKB. I'm doing very well. That's no problem. You probably got busy things to do. Okay, so now we've adjusted. Look, people, and I know a few people probably aren't watching this, like Lawless, um, that just hate Hearts of Iron 4 and still love Hearts of Iron 3. But my God, you can't do this in Hearts of Iron 3. You know, as now, the way I would have presumed to do this without knowing programming and without actually making a game, I would have just said, draw a path for convoys or something, and whether it's sea zones or actual, sea tiles path is how I would, either leave it up to the AI or if you wanted to do that. But this works too, as saying avoid certain areas. We're avoiding these areas here, and we're avoiding these areas. And the reason they're orange is because I've also told submarines to be in these areas. So unless they have specific orders, they will avoid that area. And so things like that really mean that Hearts of Iron 4 is I was going to say an improvement. It's not entirely improvement, but it definitely, there are major improvements that aren't happening with 3. Hello, amazing. You love the as much as I do. I've never been to the Iberian coast. I'd love to visit it. I don't know both the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. From photographs, it looks good, but it doesn't necessarily look any better to the Italian coast, which I have visited, and definitely not any better than the California coast, which I live on. Basically, I mean, I don't like literally. I used to be able to throw a stone from my front yard and hit into salt water, sort of not the actual ocean, but sort of inner harbor area. So I've lived very coastally much of my life there. So yeah, no, I wouldn't. You don't get too much. Yeah, and sort of LA area. Well, there's some very beautiful out in the Palos Verdes Peninsula. Very beautiful coast there. Some of it is, harbor and whatnot, of course, but you get there some very beautiful there, and all this stuff is as good as anything that I've ever heard of. But yeah, but I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it is not better than where I live. But I'd love to see the Iberian coast one day. Um, so what do you think about a few months ago? Are you talking? I'm not sure. The Manipur. I actually have some of the Manipur stuff. I saw the video that the Indian Army put out um, uh, showing how the quote unquote women, the innocent women, were supporting the rioters and people with guns and whatnot. I don't know. Modern or 90s ish Hoi 4. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I looked at that. Sorry, Sing. Uh, I have looked at some of the stuff that I'm just not as interested in modern as I am in World War II, however good it may be. And I may play some of that, okay, someday. Okay, so we've got a synthetic rubber factory coming along. We've got another civilian factory. Let's take a look at our trade situation. That's okay. So we are bringing in from France chromium. Why are we doing it from France? I don't know. Let's cancel this. Let's see if we can bring in some from Turkey, because we're getting ready that we're going to likely go to war with France. Okay, we're bringing in no steel. Bringing in some tungsten from Sweden. We are bringing in Belgian rubber, and we've been shut out of Dutch rubber, including actual Dutch rubber here, which I think is maybe a bit gamey. Mm, So we're going to eventually here need, just even at this use rate, 30 rubber produced locally, because I don't see, till we get down to Italy, is getting a little extra from their colonies, I presume. Okay, aluminum we're doing just fine with currently, and oil we are okay. We are well, we're starting to use some oil, so we're gonna see. We're getting a bunch in from. Let's look at Slovakia. If we were to click down and click up, okay, it gets us up to our 19. Good. We want to get all that we can from there. Great. Now back to here. Okay, so let's do another, and I know there are some decisions and national focus that will get us some more. Oh no, cancel that. I meant to do some synthetic refineries, but let's get another one building there. It'd be amazing if you would try new mods of Hawaii. Yeah, well, this I'll get to things, Sing. It's been more than a year since I played Black Ice, and so this is the first time I'm back in Black. And I think, which is what we're trying with all that rubber here. Let's more trucks. Okay, more trucks. More trucks. We need more trucks. Okay, we're actually gonna, well, let's take a look quickly here at motorcycles. I was just gonna, okay, we've got 6,000 motorcycles. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna reduce motorcycles, which will reduce our rubber use. Let's look at light anti-tank. Okay, 2,000. Okay, do we need to activate anti-tank on? No, these are handheld anti-tank. Radio equipment. We may do radio equipment here. Let's look at that in a moment. Okay, so let's reduce this down, and we will add 2 more to trucks, which does get us down there. Now, prime mover and heavy transport trucks. Let's take a quick look there. I know I have the one there, which isn't really doing us anything, and we'll leave that there. But what I think we will do while we can is come back over here. And grab from the Kingdom of Siam another rubber. And this way we will do that. Now, how are we doing? Ones. Wagons, okay, 6,000, but I don't, okay. And I also needed to look at radios. Where's radios? Okay, 5,000. Support equipment. I don't, well, I know I see shovels and things and whatnot. Okay, let's... Why does need so much aluminum? I don't know. Whatever. Let's do another truck here. Yeah, I know this is exciting watching me scroll through all of this. But hey, okay, radios. We're getting a load of radios being built right now. I know these are obsolete, but I'm going to keep producing them for the moment. Well, we don't have rubber for that, but I'm hoping now with the opening of that greater trade, we'll get that in. With that and everything else. Okay, so we have 6,000 or 5,000 radios. Okay, and so we're going to do that and that. Oh, it's not letting me do that. Maybe I need something. Also for your AT guns, yeah. You don't need convoys to trade with Turkey. Yeah, you shouldn't need that at this point. Because we're not at war with any of these nations here. Obviously, if like you're at war with Yugoslavia and Bulgaria, you might need convoys, but now it's interesting. One thing that, I mean, when I talk about things recently, I noticed some of you that you're young and recent is last month, but I've semi-seriously to very seriously studied World War II for 40 years. I'm not that, but recently I've only, in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, found out that the level, and I've been thinking as I've been playing here, is about the sort of trade situation with Belgium, or, well, no, with the Netherlands and Britain influence. Well, the British were actually boarding and impounding vessels in the early days of World War II that were moving through here, worrying about trade with Germany. And it's an area that isn't really looked at very strongly, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, you're right. But I don't know how much German equipment used aluminum like that, and I know what you mean, IKB, like canteens or something. Um, I really don't know because I think a lot of it was specifically used in aircraft and whatnot. I just don't know. Maybe they're just a little too. Hello, Frog Eyes. How you doing? Need tech truck radios. Okay, thank you. You've been a great help, Frog Eyes. Keep it up. Keep it up. Hey gamer, what's going on in the USA? Any special news? Okay. Well, Special news in the USA. Okay, well, okay, before we get into that, I know we haven't gotten very far on the clock, but a lot of work done getting ready for the war here. So I want to thank everyone for getting this far into the video. Come back next time for more, yes, even more Hearts of Iron.